Okay, Mr. Watson here, and in this video we're going to look at attitude and specifically changing attitudes. So attitudes are fairly enduring, but they can be changed. So that link back to personality, they're not quite a trait, that's why they can be changed. However, at the same time, they are enduring and they can be hard to change. So firstly, what we need to do is look at the components of an attitude, and we'll do that through the triadic model. So firstly we have the cognitive element, and these are our knowledge and beliefs. Okay, so for example, exercise keeps me fit and healthy. Our beliefs are formed through past experiences and what we might have learned from others. So linking back to the first video about how attitudes are formed. So they can be learned from parents and peers and people who are significant to us, like role models and coaches, all of the things that we've discussed. So they are likely to influence our beliefs. We also have the affective element, and these are our feelings and emotions. And these are usually, are towards an attitude object, our reactions. So it's whether we like or dislike it, and again can also depend on past experiences. So if we've previously experienced enjoyment, playing football for example, if we find ourselves playing football again, we are more likely to look forward or enjoy it if we're already doing it, because we've had that past experience of where we're in a good moment. And finally, we have the behavioral element. So this is our behavior, our intended behavior. So whether we actually participate in exercise. So I exercise regularly. Okay. Now, in order to continue with a positive attitude, and it's almost stable if you like, it's important that these three elements of the triangle are consistent. So right now, all three of them are positive. Exercise keeps me fit and healthy. I enjoy doing it, and I actually do exercise. So the interdependence of this is key. Okay, just as if it was the other way, exercise causes injuries, I dislike exercising, I don't exercise, all three are negative. A lot of people do have a negative attitude towards regular exercise. And also, what we're going to look at now is sometimes it's not consistent. There are cases where people are intelligent enough to know that exercise is good for them, and they've actually enjoyed it when they've done it, but they don't actually exercise that often. So their behavior doesn't match or is not consistent with the other elements. And this is something that we can use to try and change an attitude. So what we're going to look at now is cognitive dissonance. Now what this is if a person holds two ideas in this triangle that oppose and conflict with each other, an element of discomfort arises. So this emotional conflict is called dissonance. So we'll have a look at an example of this. So cognitive, okay, we have the knowledge. Sedentary lifestyles can lead to hypokinetic diseases, so lack of movement diseases, and we won't list them all, but they're aware of the consequences of not exercising, not regularly exercising, okay? So they have good knowledge. However, on the affective element, the feelings and emotions, they don't enjoy exercising. And the behavior is they don't exercise. So we've got a situation here where that affective is dominating, and the behavioral element is I don't exercise. However, that conflicts because they know that if they don't exercise, it can lead to diseases and all sorts of problems later down the line. So that can bring around a discomfort. And what they want to do is try to change part of this element of the triangle, to change the behavior to actually exercising. So right now, the affective is they don't enjoy exercising. So this is the one we'd look to change. And the way we can do that is provide a person with new positive experiences of exercise. So rather than if they really find going to the gym, they really don't like the environment, they don't like it, well, why not get them to sign up for a community badminton or a community hash running club that's quite common around the world now. So take them more to where they're going to meet new people and provide them with a more positive experience. And that is more likely to dominate, and it allows that they know they can improve and not have a sedentary lifestyle and actually get them to exercise. But you can also change the behavioral aspect by simplifying the task and offer guidance to make the execution easier or safer, because as we discussed in the last video, people can be frightened of exercising. So simplifying the task, let's just say that you did get them to join a running club, that they only need to do 30 minutes a night. They don't need to complete the full running club in them early stages. So you can simplify it to make it easier. Now let's just take a look at another example. Okay, let's just say exercise will cause injuries. So again, they're focusing on the negative knowledge not the negative knowledge, the knowledge that it can cause injuries, and they're focusing on that aspect to stop them exercising. They actually enjoy exercising, but they're too frightened to exercise because it might cause them injuries, and so they don't exercise. So again, that knowledge of becoming injured is the dominant factor. However, they do feel uncomfortable because they like exercise and they really want to do it. They're just too frightened. So we know this one. We can simplify the task or offer guidance to make the execution easier. But with the cognitive, we can update knowledge or provide individual with new information. So that might be giving them statistics of the people who actually get injured when doing that exercise, but also promoting and giving the knowledge will actually exercising prevent injury, warming up, cooling down. And actual exercise strengthens joints, it makes muscles stronger, it improves your aerobic capacity. So it actually prevents injury. So you update their knowledge and you change that focus, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, actually, I probably should start exercising because I actually enjoy doing it. And then you're creating the triangle to be stable again. So remember, this theory states that all three elements in the attitude should be consistent if it's to get the intended behavior that you want. Okay, so what someone can do is highlight facts that cause conflict. So if you know someone who's not exercising, or they want to lose weight but they're always eating junk food, you can highlight these factors to create this dissonance, this emotional conflict, and then trying to change the attitude that you want to see. Okay. The other version is persuasive communication. So this is an important method in changing attitudes, and it's important to be aware of the most effective way to persuade someone to actually change their attitude. So this comes down to some key elements. Okay. So we have the person doing the persuading. So in order to promote it, the coach has usually got a higher status than the people they are persuading. Okay, so teachers or coaches have been given authority, they've been given a position to persuade, to stand in front of the individual to try and persuade them. So that means they're more likely to be of a high status. Okay, they should be good at communicating. You know, the old Alex Ferguson hairdryer treatment isn't always going to work. Okay, you need to be good at communicating your message and picking the right time to do so, and just knowing how to speak to different audiences. Okay, being a good leader. Okay, and in that, being a role model. This is where it come about. You go to most gyms and the instructors there will all have the body type that most people are going there to try and achieve. A lot of people go for gains, but a lot of people will go to gyms because they have role models and others around them who are also training. Okay. Secondly, we have the quality of the message. So in this picture there, I've got Coach Carter in what is your deepest fear. So it's very important that the message being given is clear, it makes sense, and it's balanced of pros and cons. Okay, the message must not be ambiguous. It has to be accurate. It has to be clear. It shouldn't just seem biased. It has to be believable. You have to make the person believe that if you change this, this is going to happen. Okay, if you do this, it is going to make an impact. And Coach Carter's a great movie on how he changed the attitude of the basketballers. He wanted them to become student athletes, and they had quite an enduring attitude towards the studying. And that was a great movie. And they finally understood his message later in the movie and realized that he was painting a bigger picture. He was giving them statistics. He was updating their knowledge that they're more likely to go to prison in the movie rather than actually play basketball. So he was updating that knowledge and creating a discomfort. And then eventually, by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, he does have them as student athletes. Okay. And then we have the characteristics of the recipients. Now, at the start in that movie, they weren't all there to listen. But it is important that those that you are trying to persuade are paying attention. They have a willingness to change, and they're able to understand the message you're given. So linking back to the person doing the persuading, the good communication, linking to the quality of the message, make sure it's appropriate to the audience and they are able to understand. Okay? So it's also, you're going to have people who are intelligent enough to come back with answers. So I haven't got the time to exercise, or I might get injured. So you need to show while you're in that role, you have the higher status, you have more knowledge, and you pass it down and you change their viewpoint. Okay? And then finally, the situation. So having other students around. So I've put the image again from Coach Carter there, where they're actually in the library studying, and in the movie, Coach Carter's son is the role model. That, you know, he's getting A grades, B grades, he studies hard. So having people like that already in the library, and the others could see someone who's showing that behavior, and others are starting to change, they're more likely to take on the message. They're more likely to change. And having other coaches around, and context as well, the situational context, showing that they do have the opportunity here. Don't start giving a message, you can do this, this and this, but they know they can't afford to do it. There's actually no access. Context is also key in the situation. So just to summarize here, these are two ways: persuasive communication and cognitive dissonance, of ways or methods of changing people's attitude from negative to positive. Okay, thank you.